everyone. Hope everyone is having a great Saturday. Um, we are, let me make sure. All right, I think it's right. What is going on? We are here on this fine Saturday evening. We are going to react to another video from Law&Crime. We're here. Hello, everyone. It's me. I'm Miss Melanie, coming to you from the great state of Connecticut. I am just doing a little reaction channel. I am coming to you from the point of view of a mom, a mother, a regular everyday person. Everything I say here is kind of just my opinion. Okay, so don't come for me. We're reacting to a video from Law&Crime. So just to, so as a mom, right? I have 3 kids. And there are times when one kid will come to you and they'll tell you, "Mom, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, she did this and then this happened and this happened." And you're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. Why would she do that?" Oh, no. Get in here. Chi-Chi, get in here. Right? So then you talk to Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi, why did you do this? And then Chi-Chi goes, "But wait, he said I did that, but this happened and then that happened. And then when I did that, they did this and then this happened." And you're just like, oh, okay, I understand. I see why you did that. Okay. Drew, get in here. And then now you got to go back and forth between the two of them to figure out where the truth is and who's wrong and who do I punish and who do I not praise, but how do we resolve this? This is what happened to me while I was listening to this case. The allegations, even the title of the video will have you be like, what in the world was going on here? Right? So that's what we got going on here. We got husband and wife, a cop and her husband being accused of horrendous things. Okay? That's what they call it. It's horrendous. All right, it ain't bad. It's horrendous. All right, so we'll go through this. We'll go through this video, and then you tell me what you think at the end of it. Okay? Because I want to see if y'all see what I see, or if y'all feel how I feel. And if y'all feel how I feel after we go through this, let me know in the comments. Okay? Click, comment, share, do whatever, do all of the things so I can grow this channel or do whatever. I don't even know. Who knows? I might not. I got a feeling I'm going to be doing it for a while because it eats up my evening when I have nowhere to go and nothing to do. It makes that less depressing. But yeah, let's get into this. All right, so we're here on Sidebar with Jesse Weber, Law&Crime. This is their video. All credit goes to them. All right, we're gonna get into this right now.
In Plymouth, Massachusetts, as a police officer and her husband face a judge accused of shocking sexual abuse related to their adopted son.
Samantha says, "I don't want to take his virginity." Daniel replies, he's already lost his virginity.
But a big twist came when the pair's defense attorneys had a chance.
What? I don't want to what? Okay. Sounds crazy.
To speak and turned everything upside down.
He sends a text to Samantha with a picture of food he had cooked up. And she said, "Did you make that?" "Yeah, I did. I'm a fucking chef." That's the type of conversation he's engaging in with her. 5 days before coming in here and making these salacious allegations.
We're going to take you inside the tense courtroom, break down both the prosecution's case as well as what the couple's attorneys had to say about the alleged victim. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Arraignment and their push for bail. I just want to give you a little bit of background here. So, according to the media outlet WCVB, on March 15th, a 21-year-old man went to the Massachusetts State Police Barracks to report that both Pelrine and Forand had sexually assaulted him for years, starting when he was just 14 or 15 years old. So state police, they quickly launched an investigation. Pelrine had been a Plymouth police officer since April of 2022, and she said in a department Facebook post honoring female officers.
All right, after that whole intro done on Sidebar, how you looking at her right now? Okay, you're like, oh my gosh, she's crazy. She's disgusting. Right? That's what you're thinking right now. Okay? Behind that pretty smile is evil. That's what I'm thinking right now.
That she had always wanted to be a police officer, but now she's on unpaid leave. And to be clear, yes, these are allegations. She hasn't been proven guilty, but the department did release a statement on Thursday after her arrest saying, quote, "We are appalled and deeply disturbed by the allegations. We hold our officers to the highest of standards and expect them to uphold their sworn duty both on duty and off. Our primary mission is to safeguard the public's trust and
Yeah, police is one of those jobs where you are that all the time. Like, that is literally your identity. Okay, you're not a cop only when you put that suit on. You have to follow the law above and beyond everybody else all the time. Y'all don't clock out. You clock out, you're not getting paid all the time, but you the police all the time.
uphold the law. We value human life, fairness, integrity, accountability, and professionalism. The conduct alleged is in violation of our values and of our basic principles as police officers to serve and protect. While we respect the judicial process, we remain committed to a timely and thorough internal investigation to find the facts, review available evidence, and take appropriate administrative action. Officer Pelrine's duty status is currently under review, right? So basically, they're going to be looking at everything she did while she served as a member of law enforcement. Also, how she was hired. And let's also go to Forand. So he apparently runs a pest control business. It's called Pilgrim Pest Professionals. He and Pelrine, they were apparently raised in the Plymouth area. This is according to their attorneys. They reportedly live on a hobby farm together. And
they've lived here their entire lives, their whole life in this town. Okay, their whole life.
Forand also has a young daughter from his previous marriage. You see, while Pelrine's attorney said his client, quote, didn't have so much as a speeding ticket, when you go to Forand and his alleged past behavior, that is what's drawn a lot of scrutiny right now. Why do I say that? So now I want to go to this direct reporting from the Boston Globe. It says, in 2019, police in Plymouth asked a judge to issue an order denying Forand a gun license, citing a laundry list of problems and conflicts, including numerous allegations of harassment and trespassing. Police described, quote, one incident wherein Mr. Forand texted his estranged wife 436 times in a 13-hour period, and another wherein he telephoned another person 700 times.
That's a lot of, is that a lot of text messages? 13 hours. I could probably send 400 text messages in a day. Maybe. Is that excessive, though? Maybe. A little bit. I'm pretty sure I've sent 400 text messages in a day.
In a short period of time. His neighbors repeatedly complained about Forand mistreating his animals, which included horses, goats, chickens, and pigs. They complained about him shooting guns on his property, chasing a neighbor's dog with a machete, and using binoculars to watch them. He yells at people.
As soon as you pulling out the machete, I'm like, all right, I think you're a little crazy. Okay, we not in the island. You're not cutting through deep woods. There's no reason to be chasing dogs with the machete and yelling at people, mostly women, and put them in fear. Yeah. All right, so I don't know about him. He seems a little out there. He seems a little controlling, a little crazy. I don't know. I don't know.
It appears mostly women and has put all of them in fear of him. His personality is that of a controlling, erratic, and angry person. He is manipulative and sinister. So now it seems that his wife has been pulled into the claims against him, and they both face just a full list of very serious felony charges. According to the district attorney, Forand is charged with 6 counts of indecent assault and battery, 12 counts of aggravated rape of a child, 1 count of assault and battery, and 1 count of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Pelrine is charged with 3 counts of aggravated rape of a child and 1 count of statutory rape.
These allegations are horrendous. There's no coming back from charges like this. Okay, none. Even if they may have done it, they may not have done it. We don't know now. We don't know yet in this country. You are innocent until proven guilty. They are, what's that my boy say on The Lawyer, you know? They are cloaked in the presumption of innocence. But goddamn, that is something to be charged or accused of.
Very serious. And as the attorneys, the court personnel, and the defendants themselves gathered in Plymouth District Court for arraignment on Thursday, I gotta say, I don't think many of them were prepared for exactly what they heard. The hearing started off like any other, with the court being called to order, the judge asking about their pleas, motions, and bail. Let's take a look.
Commonwealth, I do not see any motion for pretrial detention. Do you want to be heard on bail?
Correct, Your Honor. The Commonwealth's not moving for dangerousness. I would like to be heard on cash bail along with conditions of release.
Okay. And are you aware of the requests of the Commonwealth? Okay.
I'm not specifically aware of the conditions, but I could probably gauge what the request is going to be.
Okay. All right. So not guilty pleas are entered on behalf of both defendants at this time, and I will hear you, Commonwealth, in your request for bail.
Yes, Your Honor. So the Commonwealth's request is the same for both defendants. The Commonwealth is requesting $250,000 cash bail, along with the following conditions: that the defendants be ordered to stay away and have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, that they be ordered to stay away from children under the age of 18, that they surrender all firearms in their possession, that they remain in Massachusetts for the pendency of this case, and that they surrender passports to the court if they do have them.
But then what happened? Commonwealth Attorney, Plymouth Assistant DA James Duffy, then launched into a disturbing.
All right, y'all, pay attention, because when I was hearing this, it was like, damn. Okay? So pay attention to what he says the victim says these two did to him.
Litany of allegations that have been leveled against both Pelrine and Forand by their adopted son, who's an adult now. And I'm going to warn you right now, it is really tough to listen to.
The allegations before the court essentially date back to 2018. The alleged victim in this case in 2018 became a foster child of the two defendants before you. And just for clarity's sake, so there's no confusion, I intend to refer to the defendants by their first name so the court's aware who I'm talking about when I discuss which conduct. The allegations are that the alleged victim in this case moved in with the defendants back in 2018. At the time, the alleged victim was 14 years old. Fast forward to between May and June of 2019, when the alleged victim is still 14 years old, that's where the first allegation of sexual assault comes. This is against Daniel. The alleged victim in this case alleges that on that occasion, Daniel brought the alleged victim into the master bedroom at his home, that he then forced his into the alleged victim's mouth, that he forced the alleged victim to put his into Daniel's mouth, that he touched the alleged victim's and he forced the alleged victim to touch his
like, nah, son.
The alleged victim then discloses that this continues almost weekly for the next couple of years. Fast forward now to the fall of 2019. So at this point, the alleged victim would be 15 years old. It's alleged that on one occasion in the fall of 2019, specifically September after the defendants had been married, that Daniel was again sexually abusing the alleged victim in the bedroom when Samantha walked into the bedroom. It's disclosed that at this point, Samantha leaves the room and doesn't come back for the rest of the day. In October of 2019, Daniel summons the alleged victim to the bedroom. When the alleged victim walks into the bedroom, he sees Daniel having with Samantha. Daniel then removes the alleged victim's pants and instructs Samantha to perform on the alleged victim, which Samantha denies at that time. Fast forward to a week after that, so we're still in the fall of 2019, and the alleged victim is still 15 years old. There's another incident where Daniel, again, is sexually assaulting the alleged victim by forcing his into the alleged victim's mouth and forcing the alleged victim's into his mouth. Samantha walks into the room. At first, it's alleged that she goes into the bathroom and Daniel follows. They then come out of the bathroom and Samantha says, "I don't want to take his virginity." Daniel replies, "He's already lost his virginity." Samantha then is only wearing a bra. She lays down on the bed. Daniel then instructs the alleged victim to insert his.
All right. That was a lot. We gonna keep going because there's more. But I'm looking at them like, is they out of their effing mind? What is going on here? Okay, what is going on here?
He does, while this is happening, when the alleged victim slows down, Daniel comes up behind the alleged victim and pushes him to force him to keep going on the intercourse. This happens numerous times through 2019 and carrying over into 2020. Most of the allegations take place in the home. There is an allegation that happened outside the home. This was an indecent assault and battery where it's alleged that Daniel touched the alleged victim's while in a work truck in the county. This continues on with the three of them, with the alleged victim being forced to partake in these sexual encounters with Samantha and Daniel. And then it changes a little bit in about February of 2020. In February of 2020, there's an occasion where the alleged victim is laying on the couch with Samantha. Samantha gets up off the couch. She removes her clothes. She instructs the alleged victim to remove his clothes and then forces him to have with her at that point in time. Up until that point in time, the disclosure is that
I don't know if the beeps are making it worse, but this is just insane. Insane. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? I think that's what I would have changed the name of my channel to. What is wrong with people?
Daniel and Samantha and the alleged victim would only interact as a group of three, but from this point in February 2020, it now changed to where Samantha was performing these assaults on her own without Daniel being present. The allegations, Your Honor, that these sexual assaults in essentially these same details proceed until 2025. Those are essentially the allegations, Your Honor, that are before the court.
Wow. So, according to an affidavit, the alleged victim wrote when applying for a restraining order against the couple, which was reviewed by the Boston Globe, the man had apparently said that his grandmother and his aunt raised him from the age of 3 to 12. They then apparently introduced him to some, quote, church friends, so Pelrine and Forand. He started living with them and says they were granted legal guardianship about a year later, and that is when the alleged abuse started. So the prosecutor explained to the court why they were requesting such a large bail amount here.
The Commonwealth's request is due to the serious nature of these allegations and the potential flight risks that these defendants pose specifically. With the charges that the defendants are facing, obviously there are Superior Court-only charges on here. They've now been charged, so their standing in the community has changed. They've formally been charged, and if they are eventually convicted of these charges, they're facing a significant mandatory minimum of 15 years, specifically on the aggravated rape through a joint venture theory. That's a significant mandatory minimum that they're facing. The Commonwealth would argue that that changes their situation, where they do become a flight risk given the allegations before the court. I will note for the court, they do not have criminal records. This is the first entry onto their criminal records. So the Commonwealth's request for bail, along with conditions, is based largely, in fact, is based on the allegations before the court to ensure that they continue to answer on these charges and to also protect the safety of the alleged victim in this case. So for those reasons, I would request $250,000 cash bail, a stay away no contact of the alleged victim, stay away from children under the age of 18, surrender all firearms, remain in Massachusetts, and surrender a passport. Also, Your Honor, the Commonwealth did file a motion to impound in regards to both defendants, and I do have motions for protective orders, if I may just approach and file this with the court.
Now, the judge asked for a little bit more clarification on one of the charges that Forand faces. It's assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Take a look.
Can you just give me a sentence or two about the assault and battery with a dangerous weapon with respect to
Yes, Your Honor. So there were occasions where Daniel would request that the alleged victim perform sexual acts on him, and the alleged victim would refuse. Specifically, there's an occasion in the summer of 2019 when they're in the kitchen of the home. Daniel requests a sex act. The alleged victim says no. Daniel then punches the alleged victim in the face. The victim falls to the ground, hits his head on the ground. That would be the basis of the assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. He then reaches into the alleged victim's pants and squeezes his. There were other occasions where he would demand that the alleged victim perform sex acts on.
Did this take longer to arrest them? Because I remember, I don't know if I was watching like an episode of Dateline or 2020 or something where a family adopted a young boy, and that part right there happened in another case where they adopted a kid and the dad or the male in the house was abusing him and the mom wasn't really doing anything about it. And they said something about him doing something and the boy saying no, and then the guy like abusing him even more. Dang, these shit start to blend in, or a lot of people be doing the same shit like over and over again. But oh my goodness.
And when he would say no, and he would either throw glasses at him or he would hit him physically.
So after those gross, shocking claims were entered into the record, Pelrine's attorney, Joseph Krowski Jr., turned the accusations on their head. And he revealed some very concerning apparent holes in this man's story.
On behalf of Samantha Pelrine, I am requesting that the court release her on her personal recognizance with the assented to condition that she have no contact, directly or indirectly, excepting through counsel, with any of the named witnesses or the named alleged victim. The Commonwealth has just told you that their standing in the community has now changed. Well, that is legally incorrect. Pursuant to our Declaration of Rights in Section 76, there is a presumption of personal recognizance. As you know, the bail statute has 28 criteria laid out for you to assess and determine what is the amount sufficient.
We already had 20 minutes, guys. So we're going to go, let's see how he sounds 2 times. Oh, he's already at 1.2? No. Let's see how we sound at 1.2.
Sufficient, but not greater than necessary, that will ensure these 2 individuals, specifically my client, comes to the court. Certainly the allegations, the mere allegations, are serious. Certainly the potential penalty is significant. But most of the criteria is designed answering the question and giving the court information about ties to the community and good evidence that the person will not flee the prosecution. With that in mind, Ms. Pelrine is 31 years old.
Yeah. He's about to go into house. She's 31. She's lived there her whole life. She went to school there and worked there. She ain't going nowhere. Her whole life is here. And he has a whole pest control business there. He's lived there his whole life, went to school there, blah, 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 blah.
From Salem State with a degree in criminal justice.
Yeah.
After that, I think the timeline is a little bit important for you to make your determination. First of all, this adult was never a foster child. He's now 21 years old. In June of 2028, there was no place else for him to go.
Sorry, counsel, I think you said 2028.
Excuse me, 2018. There was no place else for him to go. There was allegations made against his biological parents. There was an aunt that was doing the best but didn't have the faculties or facilities to take care of him. He certainly came to the home with some documented problems. He was on medication and he had several diagnoses. They right away, after being asked.
I'm driving to work listening to this, and that was red flag number 1. He made allegations against his parents. Nobody else would take him in. And he's on medication of some type for some reason.
To take him in, entered into a guardianship about a month later. The timeline and what's alleged against him takes place over the course of 2019, 2020, 2021. I will tell you, at his urging, when he was an adult, at 18 years old, he urged them to legally and formally adopt him. At first, it was rebuffed because his biological father would not sign off on it, but he persisted, and when he was 18, they adopted him, and we have documentation, we have pictures of the celebration. This is after they allegedly had been physically assaulting him 3 to 4 times a week. I will tell you what's also important as it relates to the timeline. The government's assertion that they are a flight risk is belied by the actual history of the case. On March 17, 2026, now these are allegations that are 6, 7, years old. The allegations don't come to light till March 17, 2026. That's when he applies for a restraining order. When he applied for a restraining order, my client, Samantha Pelrine, was notified by her department and through other sources that she was now under investigation. I reached out, talked to Trooper Dunn. I knew the nature of the allegations against her. She has had 10 days to assemble resources and funds and whatever other means she has to flee. She has not done that. She has remained at the family home where they live. She has at all times been available, and her whereabouts have been known to the Commonwealth and to the state police. She has strong ties to the community. In that home, they have a significant property. They have a hobby farm. They have animals. The co-defendant has a 10-year-old daughter. They have a successful business with employees. All of their ties are right here to Plymouth County. They don't have the desire or the intent to go anyplace else, and the best evidence of that is them remaining here and facing these allegations. They were taken into custody this morning without any prior notice to counsel. We were in the middle of preparing for a restraining order hearing that's on for tomorrow. It's a little bit interesting in the restraining order hearing because the alleged victim went under oath and swore to certain things in front of Judge McDonough, and one of the things he swore to was that he felt that that my client posed a threat to his safety, posed a threat of imminent harm to his well-being. And he had told the judge that he moved out in either early February or late January of 2026. I think the timeline's really a distinction without the difference. But again, what he told her is that he was afraid for his safety, and he left the court with the implication that he had not had any contact with them, because he said specifically that he moved out early February, and I've heard that they are looking for me. That's what he said under oath to get the restraining order. Well, it just so happens that on February 4th, after he moved out, he went to their home. He apologized for his conduct. He had engaged in a physical assault of Mr. Forand. Told him he was going to the Coast Guard. He asked to continue working at the company until April of 2026, during the same time where he's allegedly, purportedly afraid for his safety. He asked if he could go on a family trip with them to Jamaica. He asked them about a skiing trip to Sunday River. He asked if he could still come over for Sunday dinners. February 18th, he broke into the house with a ladder through a window. We have a witness verifying that he pulled up at the house to check on it because they were away and they saw his vehicle, the alleged victim's vehicle, in the driveway. February 27th, he's telling the court he's afraid for his safety. We have verification he asked for his job back and actually went back to work. March 2026, we have video of him showing up at the house in a pickup truck, a work truck that his father had given to him to sell. And the video shows them engaged in a cordial conversation talking about the fact that they got the truck running and are going to be able to resell it. This is only 18 or 19 days prior to when he applied for the restraining order, the same operative period of time when he said he was terrified of these two. March 7th, 2026, there's an encounter at a gas station with him and his father. He's with another female, a female named They all engage in a cordial conversation. March 9th, 8 days before he goes under oath and is talking about Samantha Pelrine, there's a text exchange where he calls him and she texts back, I missed your call, are you all right? This so-called alleged victim said, yeah, just tired, need someone to talk to stay awake, driving, need someone to text. It's 8 days. Under oath, he said he was terrified then. March 11th, he actually sold the truck that had been gifted to him from his father for $3,100. March 12th, 5 days before he comes in under oath, he sends a text to Samantha with a picture of food he had cooked up. And she said, did you make that? Yeah, I did. I'm a chef. That's the type of conversation he's engaging in with her 5 days before coming in here and making these salacious allegations about when he was 14 or 15. March 13th, again, verification. He asked to remain on at pest control. March 13th, 4 days before that. What else do we have? Well, because of allegations made against this guy, not them, DCF had to come to the house on prior occasions. There was an allegation that he had engaged in inappropriate behavior with his stepsister. DCF came, and it's not that they were able to substantiate the allegations against him, but fully engaged in a vetting of the home, the suitability of the home. And you know from your experience, the fundamental questions are asked. Do you feel safe in the home? Has anyone abused you, either physically or sexually? And we can only assume that those were all checked negative because DCF.
I don't know if we can go off of DCF and mad. You can't trust DCF with nothing. For real, for real. They going in the house saying everything's okay and it's safe and he could be there. And he's saying now he going saying that it was a house of horrors.
Claims against him, but filed no further action against these two. So with DCF investigating this house on at least 2 prior occasions, there was no evidence of wrongdoing. We also know that there was a history with this young man. He was a problem, and we can document it. He had accused someone falsely of sexually inappropriate behavior when he was in high school, when he later came clean and admitted it was a sexual encounter he had with a teammate on his basketball team. Fast forward to December 2025 into January 2026. He's dating this young woman that's mentioned in the police report, and that's really the genesis of where this started. He wanted to do things his own way. He continued against the parents' wishes to have her stay over. They were concerned about a young child being in the house, him having her stay overnight. Continue to break the rules. We have him on 4:45 in the morning in late November, where he has told Judge McDonough that Mr. Forand assaulted him, and he described the incident. We have him jumping on Mr. Forand, putting him in a headlock, trying to choke him out where he's clearly the first aggressor. The real issue came to a head. We have a letter, and this is the person that's scared. We have a letter from his girlfriend where she accuses this so-called victim of raping her, and we have that letter. So this is a case that has viable defenses, but your fundamental question, and it's not a question of public safety, they didn't move pursuant to 58A. Brandon doesn't allow you to consider public safety. The fundamental question is, are they going to do the right thing and appear? And the presumption is yes. And the evidence you have before you should point towards yes.
Now, Krowski also addressed Pelrine's career as a police officer, a position that requires the trust of the public.
Let me comment about this, about the fact that my client's a police officer. I don't come to you and say that a police officer should be treated any more favorably than any other civilian counterpart, but they certainly shouldn't be treated disproportionately unfavorably. I have clients all over the state charged with rape, and not one of them is held on anything close to this amount of bail. And there is something to be said that she's a police officer because you know her ties to the community are strong and she's been vetted. Her background's been vetted. Her personal history's been vetted. Her life in high school and in college. And any issues of discipline in high school and college have been successfully vetted. I'm asking you for $5,000 because I have no doubt, nor should you, that she will appear to face these charges, Judge.
Forand's attorney, Tamari Kovac, also spoke, reiterating what Krowski had said and providing a little more context.
Their son has been employed for my client, for Dan, for a few years. He wanted to go out on his own and see if he can, sort of start something, a business, or be successful, not tied to his father's business. So he applied for a job. It was with a ferry, and then for some reason there was some misunderstanding, and the alleged victim missed the meeting. So he texts Dan and asks for his job back. And like any supportive father, it's like, would you like to meet you want to meet at Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks? You pick. Now, if somebody who has been physically and sexually abusing somebody for years, is that the language you would use? You pick. He offers his son his job back. And there is not only is it just a cordial conversation, it is a conversation coming from love, from a father saying, I support you and I understand why you're looking for employment outside of the family business, but of course you're welcome back. I support you in your endeavors and, I want you to be successful. That is the true father. That is the true relationship. I also want to talk about some of these dates leading up to when he appears here on 3/17, saying how terrified he is. And I will get to obviously some of where my client, where he's from and his ties to the community. However, on the day that he came here to apply for the restraining order on 3/17, he had just called his mother, called Sam. She didn't pick up, but he had reached out to her. I was baffled when I read the affidavit for the restraining order and I got a copy of it and I listened to it. And then I'm looking at the information that my client is providing me. We have videos of him. They're at the house, they are working, they are having cordial, what we might consider just mundane conversations about work. My client has, for many years, had a lot of security cameras. He has very expensive equipment that is kept at the home. You can see them. Your Honor, if you would like, I'm happy to approach. I have videos of their son driving into the property with Dan following his truck. It's very mundane conversations. I have video of my client being attacked by him. So interestingly,
honestly, if what the other lawyer is saying is true, and like I've seen cases where the family was just like, yo, they can't stay here, you can't have this person here in the house, and then the kid go crazy and like take out the parents just because they said no. Like there's literally a whole case that I remember seeing on Dateline where The parents told him he could not have a party. This is another case, and I don't remember what state, but I remember the parents told him that he couldn't have a party. The kid took out his parents, had them like in a back den or something, buried under all this furniture and stuff, and threw a party and had his friends at the house the day he took out his parents, and while their body is like in the next room, he's over in the other end of the house having a whole party. Like, y'all lucky to be alive.
He's 21 years old. He has a girlfriend who doesn't live close by. And the parents are like, we support you in this relationship, but we don't know her and she cannot sleep here. So what does he do? He keeps trying to sneak her into the house. When that's not working, he's with other people. They're waking up. There are people they don't know in the home. So this couple are sleeping in the trucks. They're putting tents up, and they have told them, you can, of course, you can date her. She's welcome in. She cannot sleep here. So at one night, when they discover that they are there, he tells him, like, these are the rules. Like, you know the rules. You broke the rules. I want you out. If you don't leave, I'm going to call the police. And what does he do? You can see it on the camera. He brutally attacks my client, and as a caring, loving father should do, he just puts him to the test, trying to stop him, telling him, stop, stop, stop. Is somebody who is abusing their son the way that he is alleging, do you say, I'm going to call the police? This troubled young man had not been following the house rules. And then it finally was enough. You need to find somewhere else to live. So this is what he does. And then he fabricates these allegations for attention with the biological family. Only he knows the motivation. However, when he came to court, he was disingenuous. He was manipulative. He does not tell the judge, hey, also, like, I just called Sam today. I've been talking to them. I've been employed by him this entire time. I am at the house regularly. They are texting like, hey, we set aside, we have a text string. We set aside some shelves so that you can store some of your boxes because there was some water damage. So they're going to be renovating that part of the house. So like, here's where you can keep some of your things. These are just conversations that you would expect of any, between an adult child and loving parents. He didn't have to live there, Your Honor. In 2025, I believe he was making about $80,000. 2024, making over $50,000. So this is not a vulnerable person who has no place to go and is forced to live at this house. This is where he chose to live every day.
Now, the judge herself seemed a bit shaken by everything that had just come out in the courtroom. So she announced her decision on bail. She extended the protective order on behalf of the alleged victim that had been set to expire today. This is according to the Boston Globe. Take a look.
After hearing, the court sets, with respect to Samantha Pelrine, the court sets bail in the amount of $10,000. As conditions, if she should meet that bail, she is to have no contact and stay away with the complaining witness in this matter, surrender the passport, remain in Massachusetts, and surrender any firearms. If you violate any of those conditions that the court is setting, your bail may be revoked and you could be held in custody in a house of correction without bail for up to 90 days or until your trial. That includes any new offenses that you may commit in that period of time as well. With respect to Daniel Forand, bail is set in the amount of $25,000 cash. The conditions, if he should make that bail, are that he's to have no contact and stay away with the complaining witness, surrender his passport, remain in Massachusetts, surrender any firearms. Sir, you as well, if you commit a new offense or you violate any of those conditions of your release could be revoked and you could be held in custody in a house of correction without bail for up to 90 days or until the time of your trial.
So Pelrine, Forand, both posted their bonds. They left the courthouse together. Local reporters, as you can imagine, just swarmed them, asked for their reactions to the allegations, but their attorneys basically said no comment. The judge also impounded all documents related to the case until at least April 30th, so they're going to remain sealed for now. Not surprising when you're dealing with accusations regarding a then minor, and the two are back in court on June 8th. But that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
All right. You see what I'm saying? You're like, oh my God, this is crazy. These people are monsters. But then the defense comes up and they're like, yo, this little boy he ain't even a little boy. This young man is crazy. Has issues. But no joke, they lucky to be alive. If he crazy enough to come up with that type of story, okay, I don't want to take his, right? He's crazy enough to make up those kind of details. I don't know. I don't know if I would have took it to trial proceeded with the case once I talked to the family's attorney and found all of that out. But I guess they got no choice once those type of accusations are made. You got to see it through, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. You can't be taking all these kids and sometimes I'd be like, every kid deserves a home, every kid deserves love. But some of these kids, they're crazy. And maybe just leave them at home or leave them where they at. That's like that family in Florida. They adopted a son and he had issues. They couldn't trust him in the house. So they built a box prison room in the garage, which it, it might not have been that bad if they had just turned the whole garage into a room. Okay, and put a bathroom in it. You had enough money to build a box. Okay, why not just build a whole room? Kind of outside, or buy a tiny house and put that shit outside in the backyard and put electricity and shit in it. He could have did They could have did anything else but put that boy in a box. But he ended up going to jail. And I think the wife ended up having to plead it out. Okay, sometimes it's not a lot of help for the parents or for kids. And then the kid ends up being like there's not a lot of help if you have a kid that's like developmentally delayed and has some issues. Like it's very hard to get the help. But if you got a kid that's just like manipulative and crazy manipulative, like to come up with those stories if they are not true, like if that's the truth, crazy. But it don't sound like it might be the truth. It sound like he fabricating some stuff just to get back at them. That's what it sound like. Uh yeah. I don't know. We'll try to stay on top of it. My goal is to keep track of this case. Let me see. I got to put that in the calendar really. When he said they going back to court in June, when they going back to court, I gotta put that in there. I'm gonna put that in there, and we gonna find out. Okay, we gonna stay on top of this one because it's kind of interesting. Cause who telling the truth? I don't know. I don't know that I believe it. I feel like once I heard they side, I'm like, but then if I listen to Olivia Benson, dun dun, those be the perfect victims, the ones everybody thinks is lying. You know, the one everybody's like, "Oh, he's such a liar. You can't believe anything that he say." Those be the perfect victims. But what he's saying is just crazy. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. The truth will be found out, right? The truth will be found out. But let me know what you guys think. Did your opinion of everything change after the defense attorney started telling the story? Um, I don't know. I don't know why they don't got the same lawyer if they're both are together on it. Kind of like this is crazy, but her lawyer is going to bat for her. Okay, her lawyer was convincing, right? But we'll see what happens, everybody. Let's y'all take care. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Okay, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all opinion about the parents changed as you heard information from the defense. Because technically we're supposed to take everything they say as true or in the light most serving to the defendant. All right, everybody telling the truth right now, right? Until it's proven. But we'll see what happens, right? We will see what happens. I never have it ready. So I ended that last video a little bit too soon. Okay. So we got some news articles and stuff like that that we'll read just to catch us up and be a little bit more of a deep dive about that. We're gonna deep dive by reading a article. All right. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I don't know. It looks. I don't know if it just looks bigger. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Plymouth. All right. Plymouth, Massachusetts. Police officer Samantha Pelrine and her husband arrested, charged with child. That word. Okay. Article by Aaron Parsegianin and Mike Toole, and this was on March 27th. All right, Plymouth police officer Samantha Pelrine and her husband were arrested by Massachusetts State Police Thursday and charged with multiple counts of child that word. I was about to say they ain't even saying her husband's name, but y'all be protecting these men out here. Perline, I want to say Pelrine, but say that bitch. Her name is Meat Pelline, 31, and her husband, 37-year-old Daniel Forand, were both taken into custody at their home in Plymouth without incident, according to the Plymouth County District Attorney Office. Pelrine faces 4 counts of child that word, and Forand faces three for incidences that occurred to the accuser allegedly happened over 7 years from 2018 to 2025. Forand is also charged with 2 counts of indecent assault and battery. The allegations are that the sexual abuse started when he was 14 years old and continued up until last year. Another term for this is grooming, said Jim Duffy, Plymouth Assistant District Attorney. We passed grooming, I think. Yeah, they was past that. The couple had not guilty pleas entered for them for their arraignment in Plymouth District Court Thursday afternoon. Pelrine and Forand were released after posting $10,000 and $25,000 bail, respectively. They are due back in court for a probable cause hearing on June 8th. While arguing for a lower bail, the attorney for Pelrine told the court the accuser has had a troubled past. He had accused someone falsely for sexually inappropriate behavior when he was in high school, said Pelrine's defense attorney, Joseph Norsky Jr. The attorney for Forand said that the accuser is a troubled young man who was upset because he was told to move out of the couple's home. Yeah. Pelrine was put on administrative leave with, all right, long it's with pay. Because if it wasn't with pay, I'm almost positive that if she goes through with this and it finds out that this little dude was lying, she's suing. With pay by Plymouth police back on March 17th after they were notified by state police about a criminal investigation they were conducting about Pelrine's off-duty conduct. They both assaulted me until 2025. Oh, physically assaulted me, excuse me, until 2026. And the now 21-year-old man alleges in an abuse prevention order filed earlier this month with Plymouth District Court. He said the physical assault was only performed by Daniel Forand. The man said he moved out in February 2026. They are coming for me and I'm scared for my safety, he wrote in the document. At the arraignment, the defense poked holes in the alleged victim's claims and requested for a protective order, saying he wasn't in fear and continued regular communication with both Pelrine and Forand until he recently filed for the protection order. I was baffled when I read the affidavit for the restraining order, said Tamira Kovanch, Forand's attorney. His stories are inconsistent. That's him. The four charges against Praline allegedly occurred in October, November, and December of 2019. According to court records, the charges against Forand allegedly happened in May and June of 2019. In a statement Thursday, Plymouth police said they are appalled and deeply disturbed by the allegations. We hold our officers to the highest standard and expect them to uphold their sworn duty both on duty and off, the statement said. The conduct alleged in this violation of our values and of our basic principles as police officers to serve and protect. Police say they will hold a timely and thorough internal investigation and take appropriate administrative actions. Praline's duty status is currently under review. That sucks. She looks so happy there. Look at her. According to a post on the department's Facebook page, Praline was born and raised in Plymouth. Joined the police in April 22. Plymouth, Massachusetts is about 40 miles south of Boston. Probably not that far from me if it's 40 miles south of Boston.
That Plymouth police officer and her husband have been arrested on multiple charges in connection with the sexual assault of a child. Now, that couple is upstairs in the courthouse right now. We do expect them to be arraigned in the next few minutes. Now, Samantha Pelrine has been placed on leave earlier this week over allegations that she sexually assaulted a minor over several years. Now, she was facing civil charges on that case, and the couple, as we said, is expected to be arraigned in the next few minutes. The Plymouth police chief released a statement saying they are appalled by these allegations, adding, quote, "While we respect the judicial process, we remain committed to a timely and thorough investigation to find the facts, review available evidence, and take appropriate administrative action." Now, they're also going to show you an affidavit from these charges. In an affidavit connected to the couple's arrest, the alleged victim in this case say they both sexually assaulted me until 2025 and physically assaulted me until 2026. Physical assault was only performed by Daniel Forand, and they are looking for me, and I'm scared for my safety. Again, we expect that couple to be formally arraigned sometime in the next 30 minutes. We'll bring you the very latest coming up today at 4 o'clock. Live in Plymouth, I'm Ted Wayman, WCVB.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of people are just rushing to them being guilty. Like, here, what's this? What are these? I just saw some. Where'd it go? Let's see what this says.
Police department has been placed on leave while an investigation is going on into SA claims. Her and her husband, with a minor child that was in their custody, that they had actually met through their church. They met the aunt of the actual child at church and somehow ended up being the custodial parents of said child. And as soon as said child was in their custody, they said soon after they were being SA'd by both of them. Now, her husband is 37-year-old Daniel. Some stuff said he's her husband. Some stuff said he is her boyfriend. They don't have the same last name, so I don't know if it's common law married, actual married. I don't know. Just know the people in the community don't like them and have had issues with them for a while. One lady, she got a whole hate train going, and so I had found some stuff on there from her. So the victim said that the abuse started when they were 12 years old. He also stated that there was physical abuse, but that Daniel was the only one doing the physical abuse. The essaying stopped at the end of 2025, and the physical abuse kept going into 2026. He ended up leaving the home in February. He is very scared for his life, so he does have a protective order where they cannot have any contact with him whatsoever. So with Samantha being put on leave, of course they did go ahead and take her weapon from her, take her license and firearm purchase identification card, and then her ammunition for the weapon as well. So she is on leave while they investigate this from the police force standpoint. The 12-year-old that is the victim in the situation has ran away from them and has a protective order against them because he does clearly not feel
He ain't 12. He 25, miss. Yeah, he 25 now. And he's saying this shit happened when he was 14 and 15. So it's just, I guess it's a little crazy how stuff can get mixed up. I don't understand why this is showing up in Spanish, my Instagram. I don't know. I don't know. But her facts are a little off. Her facts are a little off. Her facts are a little off. Um, I just watched the court thing. The man is 25. And then I guess it's crazy when you only read a couple of articles and then go and report on it. You end up reporting kind of, not even kind of, just a bunch of the wrong facts. But let's see.
Said child, and as soon as said child.
Yeah, he's not a child anymore. He's actually, well, I don't know. She's probably going off of that. We won't. And I think a lot has to be said for the fact that Massachusetts Massachusetts State Police, um, y'all in the headlines now for being a little crooked up there. I don't know. Yeah, y'all up there bugging. Okay? Since this Karen Reed stuff, y'all been exposed to Karen Reed, that Birchmore case. Um, I mean, Walsh did that shit, but y'all had some corruption and shit in his case. Is Trooper Proctor involved in all of this? Because if Trooper Proctor is involved, we got some problems. Everybody getting off. So I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Karen did not hit him with her car. Um, wasn't this? Yeah, the Kelsey Fitzsimmons, her shit was in mass, and y'all were. Yeah, the Kelsey Fitzsimmons shit, that was crazy because that was her baby daddy used the, I think, weaponized the police against her to try to get custody of their kid. And she ended up getting shot. Cop tried to lie and say she pointed the gun at him because he went crazy and just shot. He pew-pewed her. And she just got a not guilty for her shit because I guess maybe they couldn't prove, it's pretty much he said, she said, and she sounded credible. The way it was explained to me was she sounded just as credible as he sounded. So by law, she's not guilty. Cause yeah, what she said made sense. I'd be bugging too. I guess she found out in one day that a man was leaving her and taking her kid all in the same day. And she's fucking flipping a little bit. Calmly flipping, but flipping. Don't calmly flip. I say just full out flip. This way you don't make rash decisions. Cause when you calmly flip, you bug out. And yeah, there's that. Um, look at that, look at that, look at that. But yeah, yeah. What's this? There? Yeah, this one. That's the Birchmore case. This cop was having an inappropriate relationship with a minor and a child while he's married and on duty. Like she's going to police cadet school, like little police training, snitch camp. You know what I'm saying? And this cop freaking allegedly, we know, but allegedly was having an affair. Well, can't even, well, I guess she's an adult. She was an adult at the time, but having an affair with her for years. And she tried to play the okey doke on him. She tried to be like, "You give me a baby, and I'll not bother you or whatever." And she got pregnant, and he took her out of the count, and then made it look like she killed herself. And then the family had to like protest and do all this other crazy stuff so they can open up a case. But that's happening in Boston. Oh, somebody done beat the cops up. Yeah, that's the Birchmore case. His text messages are ridiculous. Yeah, somebody hurting the police over there. But yeah, y'all, it's a lot going on. Dang, even in Cape Cod. Paid administrative leaves after he allegedly threatened a woman previously in yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Chief charged. That's old. That's all old. But y'all be getting in trouble up there, police. Maybe I should do a dive on the Birchmore stuff because that's kind of whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to put that in it. There's a lot going on with the police in mass. Y'all saw The Departed. Crazy up there. Crazy. But yeah, there's a lot going on up there. I'm gonna stay my ass in Connecticut. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think our police are kind of. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I stay away from the popo. I want to know relations with the popo. Most I do is a police officer comes to the place I work and get massages, and that's it. That's the only contact I want. That's all we need. That is keeping America safe. At least my community. I'm giving back the best way I can. But yeah, we're gonna end this now so I can add it too. But I just wanted to show some of that. But yeah, we'll catch y'all later. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do. Man, I lost it. All right, so they're just gonna repeat the same thing Jesse Weber just told us thoroughly. Okay, Jesse Weber told us all of that. But yeah, but none of the stories are saying what the defense is saying. The boy is troubled and now here causing trouble. So yeah, I just wanted to get that little bit in and get that to you guys. Yeah, so June 8th, I think they said. Crap. Yeah, I think they said June 8th. Um they're gonna go back to court, which kind of sucks because this is just gonna get dragged out. Um she's not gonna be working. Well, at least she's got like leave with pay. His business is probably gonna be affected, like their money's gonna be affected. Um but we don't know. You can't the world we live in, you gotta believe the victim. Or at least take the victim seriously and make steps towards it being more true than just not believing them at all. It's the world we live in, which, I mean, I guess if I was being accused of something like that, I would want y'all to at least people to wait, listen to my side, and then convict me if my side don't make sense. But this kid, I don't know. We don't know. We'll find out, I guess, soon enough. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens. We'll stay on top of this and we will figure out what is what when it's time to find out what is what. I just thought it was funny how appalled I was at them at the beginning. And then once I heard the defense attorney kind of tell his side, I'm like, I'm gonna have to sit this one out and see what happens. I'm gonna have to let y'all, because I know when my kids come at me with conflicting stories and we got to figure out which story makes sense, I kind of stay out of it and say, all right, you guys figure this one out. That's what I do. I don't like getting in the middle of a mess. I like to keep it diplomatic, you know? let them figure it out, you know? But yeah, we'll stay on top of it, guys. And remember to kind of like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think. I will check you guys later. I just wanted to add this little part in for you guys. I don't like how this looks.